guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I wanted to share with you guys my top 10 tips on how to take better photos for Instagram. So let's just hop right in this video. So the first thing that I put on my list is lighting, and I really believe lighting is like the key thing when taking photos. If you have really dim and bad lighting, you're not gonna get a good photo for the most part, unless it's supposed to look like dark and whatever. But even if you want your photo to look dark, it looks better to take it with good lighting and then kind of create that darker look like post. So, but anyways, I can get into that later. So if you don't have good lights, you can use natural lighting too. So an open window right next to that would be a great place. If you can, Amazon sells like really cheap lights that you can just get. Sometimes it's best to take photos outside if you don't have good lights at all. But basically, good lighting really is the key to getting sharp photos, and it will look really a lot better. So okay, next tip. Composition and angles. So what I mean by composition is how you crop your photo, what position it's in. Using the grid is really helpful. If you're using your phone, there should be a setting that you can set a grid, and so you can see, it can show you like rules of thirds. I actually use Photoshop to edit my photos. So I go in and I can check which grid I would like. I can do rule of thirds, I can do the golden rule, but basically you want to make sure that if there's like a straight line in your photo, let's say you're standing against a wall and this is the ground, and you're taking the photo, you're standing against the wall, you know, the cute Instagram pose, but let's say the ground in the picture is like this, just a little bit. So that's not gonna look too good to the eye. So you wanna go ahead and crop the photo and fix it so that it's back with the straight line as the straight. Now, if this is supposed to be artistic or something, that's different, but for the most part, I would suggest that straight lines in a photo should be straight with the photo. Angles, so angles, obviously you don't want to take a photo from a really horrible angle, so you don't want to take a photo from a really terrible angle. So that would be if you're like this looking down, like taking a picture and you're like this, like that would be probably not your best angle. Also, if it's way up high, that might not be the best angle for if you're taking a selfie. Also to know, like, okay, if you're taking a photo of yourself and you have a tripod or whatever, and you're standing up and you want to get from your head down, I would do the camera about a little higher than eye level and then tilted down slightly, and I think that would be the most flattering angle for someone just standing. However, if you want to get the background in the photo and the person, then I would do a lower shot and go upwards. So it just depends on what style you're going for, but composition and angles together will make your photo a lot better. Number 3 is perspective. Perspective, so everybody has a different perspective, and I think this is so cool. When you're flipping through Instagram photos and you see a cool like angle, and you see a cool angle, or a cool perspective, you stop and you like that photo, and you might even go and check out their feed and everything, and then maybe even follow them. So that could be a top angle, that could be down, side, whatever perspective that you think is different and cool. So that kind of adds something special to your photo. Color tones. So color toning your photo, like I don't post a picture without color toning. So that means like basically you go in and you just make sure, and you can do this on different apps that I'm going to show. You can do it on your phone, you can do it in Lightroom, you can do it in Photoshop or Camera Raw. You can make all the blues in the photo look a certain way, all the oranges in the photo look a certain way, all the reds a certain way. Every color you can change to be the color that you want and make everything look really cohesive. You can look at the color wheel and see what colors look good together by doing what's basically the opposite color. So let's say this is the color wheel and you have purple, what's the opposite of purple, and then do that color. So you kind of like a light blue with like a light pink, like a cotton candy kind of colors. Those look really nice together. Cohesive content. So this is like a little bit broader, but if you're on Instagram, you post a picture and then it's next to the other photo, and it's kind of like, basically it's a gallery. So basically you just want to make sure that your photos all have a similar feel and that you're building your style as a photographer, because if you really want to make your Instagram pictures better, then you're going to need to have some kind of cohesive thing that makes it your pictures. So someone could look at it and be like, you know what, that looks a lot like so-and-so's style of photography. I bet it's their picture, and it is. So, enhancing photo. So what I mean by enhancing photo, besides doing the color tones, which is kind of like enhancing photo, I mean like sharpening and airbrushing the photo. Sometimes you could even blur out the background and then make the forefront, like what you want people to focus on, kind of pop up, sharpen certain details. That can really make your photo pop, like a lot of contrast plus some fade, like kind of mixing together, and I'll show you guys what I mean by that too. The next tip is vision. So what I mean by vision is like basically planning your photos. So I wouldn't just take a random photo and then be like, yep, that looks good, and post it. Normally I plan out my photos. So I think in my head what photo I want to take. Then sometimes I even sketch it out, like what I want it to look like. And that's just because I'm very like visual, like I need to like see it out. And after I do that, then I will get whatever I need, the lighting, the tripod, whatever I want, and I will place it in the exact spot that I need. So I will plan my photos and then I will take them. I won't just be like, oh, let's hope this photo comes out the way I want it to. That probably won't work. A good way to plan for photos, I do, sometimes I use Pinterest, or on Instagram you can save photos, and basically you can save things on a platform, whatever, in Pinterest or Instagram you can save, and you can look at it and be like, I like this photo. Let me try to recreate my version of it. That's a good way to start if you can't think of something to do for yourself. But as you start doing that, you kind of develop your own style, and then you start coming up with your own ideas, which is really kind of fun. Choose your environment. So sometimes it can be like you go on Instagram and you see people taking photos at all these exotic places, or like you're like, wow, like if I was there, then I could take that photo or whatever. But you have your own space, and that is unique. And sometimes you don't need like a huge place to take a photo. Like sometimes like I just take photos against my bedroom wall, and it has become like kind of like my creative space. Okay, so my 9th tip is to use editing apps or software. And by this I mean, so I use Photoshop CC, and that I have to pay for. But I take photos professionally too, so it's worth it to me. If you do not take photos professionally and you don't think you're going to be using it that much, then I wouldn't get it. I would just do like maybe Lightroom on your phone, or you can use Photoshop Express, ViscoCam, Snapseed is great, stuff like that. And sometimes you can even use multiple apps to do different things. So I might go ahead and use Photoshop Express to enhance details on my photo, and then I might take it into Lightroom to color grade it. I might use ViscoCam to put a filter on if I feel like it. I suggest using that same process for all your photos and try to make all your photos have that same look, kind of like the cohesive thing we were talking about earlier. And lastly, I wanted to talk about your camera. So ideally, you would want to have a really nice high definition camera. A lot of people like Canon, Nikon. I have a Lumix. But it's up to you what you have. A lot of people only have their phone. But the good news is that a lot of phones now have really high definition capabilities. So if you're using good lighting and all these other things, there shouldn't be a reason why your photos don't come out good. So the twins decided to show up because they're just not happy. You're not happy. But anyways, the last thing, just we were touching on cameras, is if you get to know your camera, explore the settings, watch tutorials about your specific camera, and don't be afraid to explore it and figure out the best ways to use it. So those are my tips. Can you say hi? Head over to my Instagram to see my Instagram photos and let me know what you guys think. You can follow me at Lexa Tiller. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe for more videos, and I will see you guys later. Bye.